Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back to Mallory's Weird World Adventures, the podcast. I'm your host, Mallory, and I'm here to show you just how weird this world of ours really is. And I'm very, very excited to have with me today Elizabeth Saint.
Hi, I'm here.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, you guys probably remember Elizabeth from our first season of Weird World Adventures. We had some amazingly fun times, which I guess we should talk about that a little bit first, and then before we talk about the new season.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like of all my experiences, when we were on Helen's Bridge in the first season in episode 6, when we were playing with that Executioner's Block app or box app, that really was it like gave me chills unlike anything I've ever experienced before.
Yeah, I think that when, it's situations like that are so bizarre, right? Because we're going to a location that's notoriously known to have, it's a local legend, right? And you go to this place, you don't know what to expect. You're really not walking into it not expecting anything. And it's not like we could revisit multiple times, right? We just came back. We just went there once, and when we turned on the app, I wasn't sure what to expect at all. What I find, though, is sometimes the company you're with really makes the difference. And I know for us in that moment, like we've always been connected since the first day that I met you. And I was so excited to investigate with you because I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And not only will it be good, it might be a little weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We got some very interesting responses and directly intelligent responses, which I think is so important. It wasn't just spitting out gibberish. Yes, it was talking about Helen's Bridge and the location, but it was also responding to us directly, which I always find so fascinating because whatever that is, it is happening. We can't deny that it's happening,
And part of that process for me that made it so, I guess, memorable and weird was we didn't hear a lot of it in the moment. We heard some of it, but not all of it. And when we went back that night and listened in further is where we heard a lot more. And that's where we heard the hang out and hang. You remember that?
Yes.
And
that was the best EVP by far that we got that night, I feel.
Yes, definitely. It was so intense. And we didn't know the name of the person that took their life nearby was James at the time. We found out in the car later when we took a break. And before that moment, it kept saying James, James, James. And we didn't even hear it. We kept trying to dissect it. And then later when we got back, I remember we were in Asheville and I remember sitting in that hotel room and just like, let's touch some of it. And it was, oh my gosh. And then I felt guilty. I'm like, it keeps saying James and we didn't hear it.
I know. I feel really bad after the fact. I just, that's another crazy phenomenon with EVPs as well. The first thing that you mentioned, the fact that in the moment we don't hear everything, but then we go back and play it. And it's like, well, wait, sometimes I didn't hear any of that. But that also sometimes it records differently than you'll hear it on playback, which I find to be fascinating. And then, the fact that I think there's some theories that whatever we're projecting is being imprinted onto the medium itself that we're recording to, right? That's a theory that a lot of people have. But in this case, neither one of us had knowledge of James. And it took research to discover who this individual was and how they were connected to the location. And that just kind of blows my mind a little bit.
Yes, definitely. It was the whole thing. And then after we got back that night, we played through it. And I remember just being so oh, I'm so spooked now. I'm just going to go to bed. I can't do it anymore. Because there was so much there. And I remember we decided to put on the Executioner's Box app. I don't know why I can't say that for a little bit. And you're like, I'm just going to go to the bathroom for a minute. And I was like, don't leave me alone with it. And you went in the bathroom and it literally said, I'm going to get you. And I remember being like, oh my God, why? Why me?
That shouldn't be funny, because if it's true, that's not funny for you at all. I'm so sorry.
But it was very funny
Yeah.
because it was like it almost was like playful where it's like, oh, this girl is just done and she keeps talking about how she's done, so let's just make it worse.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's so funny.
But it was a lot of fun. And then I was so happy you came back in DC for us for season 2.
Yeah, it was I just have flashbacks of small figures.
Yeah.
I
The
mean,
Barbie.
these figures. Wait, are we allowed to talk about it at all?
Yeah. We're gonna promote it so we can talk
Oh,
about it.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Yeah.
talk about it. Where did you take me?
Well, okay, first we met up at the Spy Museum.
That's true. We
And
did at the Spy Museum.
we started the day of the Library of Congress, which was really cool because I was excited. They have like Lewis and Clark's map from when they first kind of documented the states, and that was really exciting. I was like, as an explorer, I'm like, well, I have to see that. So we had great time there, and then we went to the Spy Museum, and that's where I met up with you. And I think you came in when I was crawling through that tiny little crawl space. They had like the recreated vents that you could crawl through.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And it was very interesting. The girl that gave the interview was great. She was so excited about all things like spy and tech, and it made it very exciting. And then we got stuck with the Gordon truck, right?
Yeah.
That was the best part, definitely.
The moving park, yes, was the absolute best.
So
Well, that's
we
just
were-
like decent traffic for you. And unfortunately, we got caught in that.
Yeah, well, it was like a one lane, one way street with cars parked on both sides. And somehow this giant truck got through it and decided, I'm going to back up into this tiny alleyway that he was never going to fit in. And at first it was just like, oh, this truck is holding us up because he's backing up. And then he got stuck.
Which was the best part.
It was so good. And the poor guy was like moving forward and moving back and moving forward and moving back, first trying to get in and then trying to get out. And it lasted for like 25 minutes, right? I mean, it was a long time.
Yeah, it was really long.
And I think we were for the Barbie pond, and then we were gonna get food. And I was like starting to get hangry, and I'm like, Gordon, and Gordon written on the side of it, which was
So that was
ironic because my daughter, her favorite name is Gordon, or was at the time because of Thomas Engine.
That makes sense. Yes.
So then we're like, damn it, Gordon, what are you doing?
Yeah, and then we had to recreate Gordon.
We did. That's a great
in
video.
that moment, which you have. Wait, we have that video in the promo at the very end. So if you have not watched the promo to the very end, you must do so because you're missing out on the Gordon recreation.
Yes.
That stars us.
It like went through the phases of like, just the certainty that I'm gonna make it into the spot, and then the realization of, oh no, I'm not, and then just the sadness of, well, now I'm stuck.
Yes, exactly.
So I need someone to help me. I think someone did come help him, right? Wasn't someone like spotting him at the end?
Yeah, finally Gordon was set free.
It was so good. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then we went to the Barbie pond.
Yeah, I didn't even know that amazing little pond existed.
I was following them for a long time because they have an Instagram and they change up for like the holidays. And I think when we were there, it was Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot of love in that pond.
So good. And I've tried to like reach out to them for interviews, but they're shy. They say like, well, we're just shy, but you're welcome to come, get pictures and video. But like, it's an artist, and I guess that's how they express themselves, and it's really cool. On Avenue Q, I
think that's correct.
I think so. I feel like I should know because we were stuck there for a lifetime.
Yes. No.
Behind Gordon. Oh man. And then we went to the Exorcist stairs.
Yes, yeah. We unexpected trip, but I thought it was important for you to experience.
Yeah,
just to say you've been there. I mean, it kind of takes you by surprise because you're looking up at these stairs and you're like, I should be feeling something more right now. Which for me, the first time I saw them, I was actually exercising up and down there. We went
There's
for
a
a
lot of
run,
stairs.
and if you go up like several times, like it's quite the workout. So
Mhm.
that was my first experience on the exercise steps, was exercising up and down them. But yeah, I don't know. It's an iconic little spot there. And then we also did something strange at the bottom of those stairs.
We recreated another scene. We keep
See,
recreating things.
there you are. There's Mallory sprawled out at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh, it's so good. And it has a plaque there too, right? It's pretty, it's like, and it's also, you'd never expect those to be the Exorcist stairs because it's like in an abandoned gas station
Right.
right
Yeah,
behind
no,
it.
exactly. It's strange. Yeah, I don't, and then I wonder, it's such a high traffic area as well. I
Mhm.
wonder how many people just think to themselves, "Oh, the Exorcist steps. I'm walking on them right now," or just go about their day to day, just like do 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 do, like it's nothing. But I don't know. Maybe we would feel different if we went there at night, or with
Right.
like the one spotlight on the stairs, like in that epic, historic photo where he's like by the
Yeah,
steps. Maybe it would feel different.
I think so. I think so. There was just a lot going on in that moment. And it's weird to me that the gas station was dead because I mean there was so much traffic there. Maybe it's just too like awkward to get to.
Yeah. It might be one of those places that as the sun goes down, it changes.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
It was a very bright day. It was very bright. I feel like if it was dim and dark, it would have been spooky.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't feel scared or semi-possessed or anything like that. Um, but
Damn.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely I mean that movie meant so much to so many people, particularly growing up. It was like one of those films that it just sticks with you.
Yeah. I only saw it as an adult, and everybody would tell me up until then, it's the scariest thing you're ever
Mm,
gonna see. And I feel like it was so impactful in that time. And then I was like kind of too old because when I saw it, I'm like, well, the movies you watch now are just so much crazier.
yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, the first time I was a kid when I watched it, but I do remember before I watched it, I had my uncle tell me that, like you said, it was the craziest thing he'd ever
Mhm.
seen. It like left a scar on his brain. Just, like I remember watching and be like, okay, this is a little disturbing, because it borders the line of like, okay, this could potentially happen, right?
Mhm.
And it makes you think about that. But I don't know. Like you said, there were a lot when I was younger. There were other things that scared me more than The Exorcist for sure. And then when you watch it as an adult now, yeah, things are just too crazy. I mean,
Mhm.
the movies today just they really take it out there.
It's
So
like a 10 consistently.
exactly, yeah, yeah. We need something else.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. For me growing up, it was dolls. I do not like dolls. I do not do dolls. They're not my friends. And weirdly enough, like my biggest fear growing up was Raggedy Ann.
No, but that's a creepy one.
She is, in the story behind it, I like don't know well enough to like precisely say, but it had something to do with like a guy's daughter dying of tuberculosis. So it's like sad and depressing, and then the doll looks sad and depressing, and I don't know. She just freaks me out, and I had nightmares about her, and then that was it. And then I found out 2018 that Annabelle was real and she was a Raggedy Ann. And my
Yeah.
friend Jimmy, that like he's the one that told me about it. And I'm like, you're just messing with me. I like didn't believe him because I'm like, you can't. There's not like a possessed Raggedy Ann doll. You're lying to me.
And then she became a reality.
And then I met her
Oh,
multiple
man.
times.
How did you feel about that, though? Like, did you feel anything?
It was interesting. First of all, I like over prepared for it because I don't like Raggedy Ann. I already knew it was going to be a thing. I'm like, well, I have to face my fears. Like, regardless, there's just a level of fear because this is Raggedy Ann and I just don't like her.
Right.
And it was interesting. It felt like very heavy there. And there was definitely like a very like heavy energy about it, but there was nothing like happened. It didn't feel that bad. But they said they had a priest that comes out and blesses it all the time too.
Yeah, and then there, people say that she chooses, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. Whether or not maybe to show herself fully or for you to feel her, or maybe there's no sort of threat from Mallory Mackey, so we're okay. I don't know.
Well, I was around her twice because we filmed for the show, and then I was at the Warrens Paracon last year, so we were around a lot with that. And the first time I was there, it's intimidating too because they're saying like, don't look her in the eyes, don't, it's like a challenge. And then I'm like, well, now I'm gonna want to look her in the eyes because it's just human nature to like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, and then you're overthinking it. And it was, and Matt actually got like a fright scare from her because he went into the Warrens Occult Museum before we went inside. Like he was getting B-roll and doing his own thing when I was like meeting with everybody when we first got there in Connecticut. And he didn't know where it was. And then I guess turned around and it was like right behind him. And he like fully just panicked.
That's so funny.
So before I went in, he's like, the doll's right here. Just so you know, I know you don't like Raggedy Ann. I'm just going to tell you right now. She's right there.
I guess there's some comfort in meeting Annabelle for the first time around a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's that moment when you're alone later and you could be going to the bathroom or getting ready for bed and you're going to think about her and wonder, is she here right now?
That was my thing before I met her because I was like so in my head about like, oh my God, there's a real like Raggedy Ann doll that's supposed to be possessed. And I'm just like thinking about it all the time. Like, oh, if I think about it, is it going to make it come to me? Like,
yeah, you know what? There's some truth to that. I know it happens to me and I've heard it happen to other people. Before I visit a location that is, I would say, I don't want to say truly haunted, but maybe it has a darker haunting associated with it. I do get visits before I go. So I definitely feel like that is a possibility for sure. I feel like if she wanted to know that she knew that you were coming, she would have let herself be known to you. Mallory, I know you're coming. I will flop around for you.
I felt like, the second time I felt like I've got this. I've already done this. And then we were there the whole weekend. So I was like, every day I'm like, I'm just going to like for my own personal OCD, check on Annabelle every day, know where she is, be like, okay, you're here. We're good. I see you. I'm going to go about my business now.
Right. Yeah.
You're here and I'm going to be over there. And
yeah, absolutely.
And I guess too, I should bring up the fact that it's so sad that, did you see all the news about Dan Rivera passing away?
Yeah, it's awful.
He was such a wonderful guy. Like a lot, a lot of people have issues with the Warrens and their beliefs, and I understand that too. But Dan and Chris were the two people that I always worked with and, communicated with for New England Society for Psychic Research. And Dan was, and Chris is just such wonderful people, so welcoming and so kind. And they did everything, Dan did everything out of, love and, a want to help people. And there's not a lot of people that do that. It wasn't about, making a scene or being important like some of those people. It was very much about just helping people. And I feel like, that he truly believed in what he was doing. So it was very sad. It was definitely a shock to see that.
Yeah, it's terrible. And I think for me, just to be honest, it's hard when I say a group of people turn that passing into something that it shouldn't be. And I feel like that's not fair to who he was as a person. And that association is not warranted, in my opinion. And I think that that's just unfortunately really hard. I guess on one hand, he'll be known by a lot more people because of this. But that's not, I don't like the way it's been portrayed, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not fair to him, his family, his friends. It doesn't define what he did for this field.
Right. And people, I've had a hard time with that when notable people pass and it hits the media, it's like people forget that they were a father, a friend, you know, someone's child. People just disassociate the fact that they're a real person. And
Right.
that's hard too. And it's disrespectful to that person's, you know, sphere of people.
Right. Absolutely.
But on a lighter topic.
Go
First
on.
of all, before we, I have to go all the way back. My mind is chaos right now, so that's the fun part about this podcast. It's just
Okay, perfect. Yeah, chaos is what I want.
I have to hear you talk some about the Cat Museum, because your reactions to the Cat Museum when we were there and when we were going there were so just like that. Were so good.
Okay. Yeah. No, okay. Where do I begin? I grew up allergic to cats. No, that's not a good place to start. I actually love cats. They're great, but I am allergic. So I think there's like minor fear. Okay, I'm gonna have to film on camera at this place. Hopefully I don't have an allergic reaction. If you say it's a cat museum, how many cats are we talking about? This is like my first initial reaction. I was like, no, it's fine. It'll be interesting. But then you go in and it's like, wow, there are cat things everywhere. I've never seen so many little cat figures, so many. I don't even know how to describe everything that I saw that day. And then we meet this man. Sweetest man. I see him and Mallory sing at one point together. I had the best experience at that museum. I'm sorry. It was just incredible. I love when you find quirky individuals that have dedicated their lives to something that's like, it is niche, but it's definitely appreciated by so many people. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we need things like that in our world, because we forget the joys that we can find in such like little knickknacks or things that matter to other people. That maybe the majority will think that the Cat Museum is crazy. I don't know. I don't care. But I can tell you that I had a fantastic experience. I didn't even know this place existed, and because of you, I got to appreciate it in a totally different way.
And we got so much good footage of you and Pavlo being like covered in cat. He was covered in cats at one point. He like got down and there was kittens on his shoulders. They were just all over him. And I think you had some footage of like the cats going after like the mic on the camera because it was lovely.
Oh, they were so cute. Oh, they were so cute though.
It was so cute. And then I remember there was a kitten room and I'm like, this is just dangerous. This is dangerous. And there was a kitten named Toby, and I had just lost my Toby, and he looked like him, and it was so like, I was going to tear up. I was like, oh my God, I'm just having this magical moment with baby Toby over here.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And Matt and his wife tried to adopt some of those kittens after we left, by the way.
Did they?
They did. I don't think they wound up doing it, but they like inquired about several of the kittens.
That's hard. Yeah, that's so hard. Ugh. I don't want to turn everything into a negative here while we're talking, but that's just another thing that's just like really difficult. Like, because there's just so many animals that are in that position. But there was a lot of joy that day.
So much joy.
Yeah.
And the possum. Do you remember the guy had the possum on his shoulder like the whole time?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I never seen one in real life.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. We had like 3 days of driving through like the middle of nowhere, North Carolina. And did I tell you? I don't know if I've told you. Oh, this is good. So I saw the Brown Mountain Lights this year.
Wait, you did? Wait, you told me you went back. I don't think you told me you saw them though. Or maybe you did. It doesn't matter. That's amazing.
I was so excited, and we had the equipment. So I was like, oh, this is great. We're gonna get it. And it was weird because it was me and Michael, and we were like standing on that same like overlook that we were on.
Yes.
And
no fog, right?
No fog at all. You know, it's funny. It's like a hit or miss. It was foggy everywhere, but we were above the fog here. So there was no fog in the area there. And at first I saw, it looks like a little firefly, like spark. And I was like, well, that's weird. There's fireflies up here, but it was December. I'm like, it's kind of cold for fireflies. And then all of a sudden there was like 10 of them all at once that just like shot up and sprinkled around each other like chaotically, like electricity. And I was like,
What?
what was that? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm seeing them. This is so crazy. And Mike was like, what? And then he like didn't believe me because he thought I just wanted to see them. And he's like, okay, because he missed them. And then he saw them next and he's like, oh my God, I can't believe. And we're both like screaming on the camera, like, this is so great. Oh my God. And then I'm like, we have the GoPro and I have like my phone. I'm like, something will pick it up. He has his like DSLR, like something will get this. And then there was another light that would come after it that was like, it looked like almost like someone was shining a flashlight like from below. And it was like coming from the side and it was big and it would last for several minutes. And we're like, maybe someone's down there with a flashlight. And then we like took our light to look and it's like, oh, there's just nothing down there. It's just like space. Like it's just empty, like a void from cliffside. And we're like, what is happening? It was unbelievable. And here I am thinking, we're getting it on camera. And the worst part was we go back and nothing picked it up. And it was so bright. So I'm like, how is it this bright and nothing picks it up?
Oh, that is frustrating and interesting.
It is. There has to be some weird scientific thing there because our eyes can see it, but even the phone, which sees better than me in a lot of dim lighting, was just like blind to it.
Weird.
Mhm.
Makes me wonder how far away it was.
I know. I wanted to come back
Counting
with
yourself
a thermal camera.
closely.
I know.
Or
It was
maybe you
weird.
guys were just in a different viewing plane.
Mhm. It was crazy. And
Oh,
I got a thermal imager, like maybe this will show it in the future, like when we go back, but I don't think it would be close enough to do it. But I'm like, well, I have to try something else now.
something. Yeah, something. Oh, that's bizarre. Now you have to go back.
Right. It was unlike anything I'd seen before. I mean, I was so happy to see it. And then I was like so soul crushed that we didn't pick anything up, but just us screaming like lunatics, right?
That's okay. We swear we saw it.
Damn it. Oh
yeah.
man. So what do you have going on coming up?
So sheesh. I don't even know where to start with that. So I vowed to myself that this year was going to be a yes year. Okay. People talk about having them all the time, but I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to do it. And despite anything else that was going on right now or that I have going on, I'm really trying to make it a point to put forth the projects that I've wanted to do for quite some time. And anything that comes about from other people that I'm just like, yes, let's find a way to do it. Yes, I will do it. and so in that, it's funny how the universe works, because in that, all of a sudden I have all these different people that I haven't talked to in years coming out and being like, hey, would you do this thing with me? And I'm like, okay, sure. Yes. Okay. Let's try to find where can I fit this in? I don't know where I get it, but I'm going to do it. And so that's where I've kind of found myself, which is good.
Yeah.
That being said, I have been collaborating with an old hometown friend of mine on some music that I plan on putting out soon, which I'm so excited about, because I wanted to do that for so long. And I think a lot of people don't know how much I love music and making it and singing and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to do that for myself. I started being a little better about social media and trying to put things out more often than I was before. I think I was kind of a ghost in my own right for quite some time, and it's difficult to be present, as you know, and to be putting stuff out there all the time, particularly in this field. And so there are locations that I will be investigating locally and putting out for everybody to see. There are some like smaller documentaries and episodic bits that I'm doing with other people that have presented kind of different content that they want to start producing. So I've started pre-production on those. And yeah, I have an event in Mississippi later this year that I'm excited about because I get to return to the house in between.
Oh,
In
yay.
Mississippi, which will be a lot of fun. And Alice, who owns the home, is Alice Jackson. She's just amazing, and so I'm excited to revisit the house because it's like one of those locations where you just need to go back because the first time you went to visit confused you a bit.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot going on there, and there's no explanation. It's my understanding that it's gotten worse, so I'm excited to go back and
Oh
that.
boy.
So yeah, I think for me right now, it's balancing the projects being brought to me, which I'm excited to be on board for, and then the work that I really want to do,
Mm-hmm.
And I spent so much time in the past, producing a lot of projects for other people, and there's been a large transition away from that for a period of time. I'm just excited to get back to what I know I'm passionate about and what's going to make me happy, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Gotta focus on you.
Yeah. I think that's important. I don't want to get lost.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm in that same space now too. I'm like, I need to focus on my stuff and my happiness and my health and my, it's okay to be focused on what you need first.
Right. Yeah. And I think unfortunately, sometimes it takes a while to get to that place where you're like, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm ready to do stuff that I need for my soul,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think of all the other things that have been going on. I know I'm editing season 2 right now.
Right.
And our first episode, which I'm processing right now because I'm editing it, is in, I wish you were there because we were in Transylvania and we spent the night in Dracula's castle. And the guy that gave the interview is so like weird and funny in a way that you're like, do you believe in vampires? I'm not sure. Like, I'm just going to go along with this.
Interesting.
And did you ever read Dracula?
No.
Okay. There's a character that's not in most of the film adaptations. It's not in the plays that winds up like he's the one that kills Dracula at the end. And we like ended the night going through like the torture chamber. They have like the torture chamber underneath the castle, like in the hill, and you kind of let out like under the cliff in the door, and we get out there, and he was so dramatic, and he's like, "This is where Quincy Morris killed Dracula." And I'm like, in the book. Like, in the book, right? You know it's a book, right? But it was
But did it have you for a second believe that maybe it was not just the book?
Maybe. It was very convincing. And the other funny thing that we thought they were kidding is, I guess the real threat around there, all these movies want you to believe that it's wolves. Apparently it's bears. We didn't have a run-in with the bear, but when we picked up our rental car in Cluj-Napoca, the guy's like, watch out for bears, because we told him we were going down to Brashov. And we thought he was kidding. And then when we spent like time by ourselves on like the grounds after dark for everything for, Dracula's castle. And the guy told us, he's like, be aware, be careful for the bears. There's a lot of bears out here. And we're like, oh, I guess there's a lot of bears out here. I guess the guy wasn't kidding.
What the heck? That's so strange. It just makes me think, like, and it's kind of like a theme of all these things we've been talking about. When people believe enough in something, or when there's longstanding stories of something that has taken place, it just, you tend to wonder how much of that energy is created from us versus how much has actually taken place. Have we all just collectively formed some sort of tulpa energy that we're dealing with, and that's what we feel when we go to these places? Or is something really residual there. And yeah, so when he made that convincing statement, this is where he killed Dracula, it's just like maybe somewhere
Maybe.
that took place, you know?
That's how I
You're
felt
making
about
it
Helen.
happen through your words right now as you're speaking them to me.
That's how I
I
felt
am
about Helen's
bearing
bridge
witness to Dracula's death.
right in this moment.
Yes,
When we were at
it's
Helen's
happening.
bridge, that's what I felt. I felt like because the box kept saying Helen, there was so much Helen, but she was not really a real person as far as anyone can decipher. And I'm like, I feel like this is just presently here because everybody comes here and directs their attention to Helen.
Yeah, even when we were there filming,
Mhm.
some people stopped just under the, I guess, the overpass, and they were just like, Helen, Helen. Like, it's just, we heard them chanting her name. If this is happening every day, I don't know.
That was great too because I can hear the audio. I edited that so much. I hear the audio in my head. I hear Pablo was like, "They're calling for Helen," and then you were like, "Ah," like making these creepy noises at them. They're gonna think they really invoked Helen.
Yeah. I don't even. That sounds like something I do, I guess. Yeah.
So good. The moment it lives rent free in my brain. I have another funny story I have to tell you. Speaking of things that live rent free in my brain.
Okay.
So you remember when we were first filming, I was telling you how inspired I was by Josh Gates, and I know you know Josh somewhat.
Yeah.
And so this past ECAD, I became very good friends with this woman, Nina, who's a friend of his. And Nina is, by the way, she's wonderful, and she works on the Mars rover. Like she's a astrogeologist. She's just incredible.
Love that.
And her and like Josh's new girlfriend and me were all kind of like buddies. So I spent the entire ECAD weekend with Josh, which was lots of fun and just surreal because I'm like, oh, this is like the person that inspired me when I was like young and like wanting to do all these things. And it was very cool. And he's wonderful. And there was a moment, I'm probably going to say too much, where so this like weird little stick thing behind me is a penis gourd from Papua New Guinea.
Oh, yes.
So it's something that I guess tribally men would wear over their penis as part of like a ceremonial thing. And it's kind of shaped like a penis. It's a very strange thing. And somehow I didn't get what I wanted at the auction the previous year. So I was all in on that penis gourd in the auction.
Perfect. I mean, because why not?
There was some Prosecco that probably helped with that. Power Prosecco. And I'm like, yes, I must get this. So then everyone's like, oh my God, Mallory got the penis gourd. And then we're walking around with it afterwards, and I'm like carrying it in a bag, and it's like sticking out. It's just so weird. And we were having a good night, and there was lots of drinks. And we, ECAD is just like the party of the year for all the explorers. So there's like the gala, and then there's the after party, and then there's the secret after party. And then we were all just hanging out, and then we walked across the street to a different bar. And then and so the end of the night, we're all just like, I mean, we wound up getting chicken nuggets at McDonald's and making it back to the hotel at like 5 a.m. eating chicken McNuggets, like, what is our lives right now? But we were in the last bar. I was sitting with Mike, and he was just kind of done, and my friend Nina and Josh have this like very like pick on each other relationship. It's cute. And so I don't know what happened, but she took my penis gourd and she wound up like rubbing it all over his face.
Oh.
And this moment just lives rent free in my brain forever because I'm like, what is happening? And he's like, why would you give that to her? And I'm just like, I don't know what's happening right now, but I'm never going to forget this moment.
And now you can say, my penis gourd has touched Josh Gates' face.
Yes. Oh, it was so good. And then the evening, I'm probably sharing too much, but then the evening ended with me giving him a hard time for not following me on social media, so he did.
No.
And then chicken nuggets.
And then, yeah, well, perfect cap to your night or morning, I guess I should say.
It's definitely the morning. I remember sitting, I think at that point it was like me and Mike and Nina and Nina's friend, and there was somebody else that was friends with Nina. It was like her crew, and we're all just like sitting around eating chicken nuggets on like the floor of the Intercontinental Barclay. And I'm like, I should go ask for a late checkout. That was the resolution of, it's going to be 6. I should get a late checkout.
You probably, yeah, that was probably the right idea.
Mm-hmm. The scary thing is there's so many people in that club that are so much older than I am, and yet they don't sleep the whole time. Like they're just out every night. I can't do that. I have to prepare for like, I'm gonna go to bed at a decent time Thursday and a decent time Friday, and then I'll, have that one night on Saturday that'll be crazy, and then that's it.
Yeah.
They're just Thursday night, they're walking on fire.
Oh.
Yeah, like that level of crazy.
Oh, I love that. It sounds like a blast, actually.
I was driving to New York City and I had 3 separate people text me, I'm walking on fire right now. Why aren't you here? And I'm like, I'm sorry. You guys are making me have extreme FOMO. Wow.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're walking on fire?
It's not every day you get texts like that either. Like,
no, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I love that.
Yeah, it was intense. That's my life in a nutshell.
Yeah. No other way to be, honestly.
Yes, definitely not. Have you had any really interesting investigations you've done recently?
Not recently. No. I'm trying to think no, I'm going to say no.
Well,
I wanted to expand on that answer for you, and I found myself falling very short.
I hope you can make it to the Hanover Tavern, because that I have to like prepare you in advance, because I met with the person that like runs the group. So it's like a local investigation team here in Virginia, and they don't do traditional investigating. They collect data analysis and put it in an algorithm to process the data. It's something, the way he explained it to me, I'm like, that sounds crazy, and I've never heard of anything like that before, and that's great, but I couldn't tell you how it works. So I want to get in there and like talk to them and process like, well, how different it is and what their algorithms pick up on. And
oh, that's fascinating. Yeah. Actually, when I moved down to DC, the team that I joined, Maryland Paranormal Research, it was the only reason why I felt comfortable actually joining a team, is because we were so data driven. It would sometimes take us like 4 hours to set up for an investigation before we actually investigated. And what's so funny is so many of our best CVPs were happening when we were actually setting up. We would set up the mic stages first in each room. And just let them go as we were setting up. But a lot of times that's when we would get like the best evidence, which was really funny. But it shifted my perspective so much. When I started making my own gear, it made the biggest difference to ping back on the foundation that I had with my team, because we were so data driven, and all the different environmental changes and shifts that happen, when you're actually monitoring and tracking an environment as a whole is fascinating, because then you learn like the subtle shifts in the atmosphere itself are a lot of times correlated with moments you would get your best EVPs or best evidence, or something bizarre would happen. And I think that like that approach is not done enough in this field. So I hope I can also go with you, because I would love to see what they're doing there.
It sounds so fascinating. Just like it's just like you said, that it's all the data they set up for hours, and then they process the data through an algorithm on the computer, and they come at it with a very like, we believe something's going on, but we don't know what it is kind of attitude. And I that's very comfortable for me. I like it a lot because I find myself very stuck between two worlds a lot because I came from the very paranormal world, the paranormal world, and I feel very comfortable there. That's where I, kind of grew up. And then I've been in a lot of the scientific stuff recently, and I write for Skeptical Inquirer, so the logical side really kicks in. And so sometimes I find myself like in the middle of these two very extreme worlds that really could I feel like see eye to eye and work together, but they just are so set in their ways. So it's nice to see when people merge in the middle and kind of walk that path.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you. I think that, and I think that's a place where I've oftentimes found myself, as an electrical engineer, I've always had that very logical side to me. But as I've shared with you, I grew up having so many experiences throughout my life. And even as an adult, there's a lot that I experienced that I don't share publicly with people.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of teased at it when we did our little experiment, I guess, on season 1 of Weird World Adventures. But I also feel sometimes pulled between two worlds. And what's sad is that, there are people in the scientific community that experiment and explore, which I think is great. All the great explorers and people that really made a mark in history, they were doing experiments that, were hokey, were strange, were bizarre, but look where it left us later in life. We have a greater understanding of the things that we cannot see than we did before. And it's a shame that I found, with my work as an engineer, particularly, here's a good example. When I worked for this company, SparkFun Electronics, out in Colorado, we would rotate in the engineering department who was going to write the next Engineers Day blog post. And so mine was always paranormal driven. I was always building a piece of paranormal tech and showcasing it on the blog and stuff like that. And I loved it. I thought it was fun. But the comment section was brutal, really brutal. You have these people coming on there. It's what? I don't get it. You people are engineers. You're supposed to be writing about things based in science, not this junk, And that's the perspective that all of them kind of had. And I hated it because it's like you just said, to come back to your point, if only these two worlds could find a common ground, I think that so much more would be advanced in this field beyond our wildest dreams.
Definitely. Very well said.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we end here?
I don't think so. Stay weird, Mallory. I hope we do lots of fun adventures together.
Yes, definitely. And you should let people know where they can find you on Instagram.
Yeah, sure. You can follow me at ElizabethSaint_, or just go to elizabethsaint.com and it will take you to all my social places.
Yay, and be sure to tune in to Weird World Adventures Season 2. We're excitedly doing the countdown for it. It'll be here this fall, and you'll be able to see Elizabeth in the DC episode, which will be a lot of fun. You can see our Gordon truck trauma firsthand for yourself.
Yes, it'll become a reality.
You'll get it. You'll just get it. You'll get there. We've all been, before I go, that's funny that what it now resonates with me with is, did you ever watch Curb Your Enthusiasm? Okay. Mike has pointed out that I can get very Larry David sometimes, not to that extent, but stuck on formalities or certain things. And I don't know, that feels like a very Larry David moment where you're just just why is this truck here? Just tracking every moment of it and just having a meltdown for 25 minutes because the truck is just stuck there.
Yeah, well, there was that, but then I think our recreation just made the entire moment just fine.
It did. It brought the joy back into it.
Exactly. We needed, yes, it brought the joy back. We needed that.
That and some food, which we got both, and then things were lovely. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And until next time, everybody, stay weird.